Hetapu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Kisak Ma Keparu with another video for you. And in this video, I want to talk about how to build the world you want now. But before I do that, I'd like you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. If you'd like to know more about my spiritual teachings in the Kemetic philosophy or how to manipulate the very fabric of reality, we do have free ebooks for you. You can scroll down below, click on the links, and download those ebooks and start reading today. If you want to take your spiritual journey to the next level and beyond, become a Patreon supporter. As a supporter, you'll get exclusive access to instructional videos, videos on the esoteric, videos on the occult and magic. These videos will teach you how to do self-hypnosis to get rid of negative habits. We have Qigong videos, videos on divination, how to work with the oracles, videos on how to astral project or invoke spirits for your protection, videos that show you how to set up an altar or shrine, and so much more. So become a Patreon supporter. And as always, you can cancel at any time. There's no obligation. And if you become a supporter at the Osirian level, you will get all your spiritual readings for free. So become a Patreon supporter today. Also, I would love for you to share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. So, Hetepu, I'm feeling a little bit better, in better spirits and health-wise, a little bit better. As you know, I was pushing myself in terms of trying to reach the next level and, well, let's say astro traveling to different dimensions and working with different beings. And I took some herbs and medication together, which was not the smartest thing to do. I didn't realize I was doing that because I took them in such close proximity. I should have waited a couple of hours, which put me not in a coma state, but a really bad situation where I had to call the paramedics and we had to go rush to the hospital, and they took real good care of me. And so I know I was a problem for them. It was definitely a problem for them. After they gave me a clean bill of health, they rushed me out. They're like, okay, you're good. You can get out of here now. You're getting on nerves. Okay. So, and then my wives subsequently left me. They were like, we've told you to stop trying to do that. We're not going to have a husband who's dying on us. So we're gone. We're packing our bags. And I helped them pack. I said, go ahead. So he left me with the 17 kids. And then, of course, YouTube does something like they demonetize my channel because I'm speaking truth to power. So if you are inclined to do so, please donate to the channel. I'm making nothing off these videos. And the content I produce is very, very spiritual content. So I have no idea why YouTube wants to pick on me for talking about the things I do. There are other channels that are more conspiracy theory oriented that they allow to get away with murder. And I'm just talking about spiritual ideas. But anyway, as it may be, let's get into the deep, deep subjects here. So, you know, I am not in any way endorsing what the Illuminati or the ruling elite or the cabal is doing. But the more I study as an occultist, as a priest, as a magician, the more I got to give it to them. These are some brilliant individuals. You know, when I uncover the magic and the rituals and the manipulation they use, I learn a lot for myself. And I have an appreciation of just how powerful they are. They are some clever mofos. They're very good. They're black magicians. And let me explain this to you. You see, when I was taking those herbs and trying to reach the next level and travel to a further dimension to meet different beings, I made a critical error. I did not respect the power of the herbs I was taking. And because I didn't respect the power, it kind of spanked me like a child. So when I talk about the ruling elite, the Illuminati, in terms of the knowledge that they know, how powerful they are, you have to give them a certain amount of respect. You see, the thing that we do is, as Yoda said in The Empire Strikes Back to Luke Skywalker, do not underestimate the power of the Emperor. I think we underestimate how far their reach is, how much knowledge into the occult they have. And because of that, we take steps and maneuvers which get us into trouble. Case in point, what I did. So when I'm sitting here and I'm telling you that I have studied them and I have an appreciation for their knowledge, of course, they've been here for centuries. They've taken the control of the planet. So my appreciation and respect for their knowledge is only there for my safety and not so much to give them praise. You understand? Because they're very corrupt, they're evil, and they're sinister. And we have to do away with them. But now, the way we're going to do away with them is not by doing battle with them. That would be foolish. There are not enough priests, magicians, what have you, like myself, or who possess even more knowledge than me. There are not enough of us in numbers to do battle with them. So the way that we can get rid of them or do battle with them is to transition to a new reality, a new earth, a new universe where they do not exist and do not hold power over us. That is the key. And that is going to be by individually and collectively us changing our core vibrational frequency so that we as a collective move to a different earth, one where they don't exist. It will take time, but it's possible. But before we do that, I want to talk about how you, as a magi, magician, initiate, priest in the making, can create a world for yourself to where you will have the things that you've always wanted. I didn't realize how great my life was until I was like a couple of times on the verge of death, you know? I didn't realize how much money I've had through my life and always spent it frivolously. I would buy anything, do that, do that. Not that because I was materialistic, because I knew how to just keep manifesting it. And it wasn't something I was consciously aware of. It was like a default thing with me. I knew, my mother is the goddess Ma'at, the goddess of abundance, the goddess of wealth. The planet she governs is Jupiter, the most expansive, largest planet. So I came into a natural inclination as to how to get wealth, And what I want you to understand, and I'm going to lay down some really powerful secrets in this video, is that what I'm going to impart to you, the worst thing you can do is think it's a conscious endeavor, meaning that if you are consciously doing these steps, then you're going to reap benefits. And that's not the way it works. That's not how magic works. Go back to a video I did on the baseline reality. That really explains what I'm talking about, because I know you're probably saying, well, what do you mean consciously? We can't be consciously aware of what we're doing. How can we learn? How can we put it into practice? Let me explain. When I relocated, I did so by consulting the oracles. And I was looking for ley lines. Ley lines are throughout the planet, throughout North America, where if you go there and you meditate there, it increases your power, okay? It's like a battery that gives you an exponential amount of magical energy. But the prerequisite is like the 48 hexagram, the well, whatever is in the well, that battery will charge it and manifest it. So if you have been harboring negative things in your subconscious mind, when you go to these ley lines, you're going to manifest these things on an unconscious level. Obviously, you don't want bad things in your life, but the ley lines are not going to discriminate. They're just going to charge you with energy. And most of us, you see, let me break it down to you and give you a secret about my lovely wives who have departed, leaving me with my 8 kids. They were practitioners of Wiccan. I respect Wiccan, but it's not something I would be involved in. And the reason why It's not about spiritual growth. It's not about spiritual elevation. Oh, they will tell you it is, but it's not. Because they work with things like the tarot. The tarot is a great oracle, but it's merely about prediction outcomes. If you're looking to spiritually grow, then you'll have to start studying the wisdom of the Chinese sages. You need to start studying the wisdom of the Kemetic ancestors, because they were the ones really about spiritual elevation to the God level. Many I've met in the Wiccan tradition. Again, I'm not saying that these are bad people. They're great people. But many who I've met are chain smokers, drink alcohol, adorn themselves with crazy tattoos, and they don't seem, and overweight, cursing. And to be honest with you, the majority of them I met are wonderful people, but they have their hangups. Now, in something like the Kemetic spirituality, a Kemetic religion, there's no tolerance for that. The Kemetic spiritual system will check you on certain things, like you shouldn't be drinking alcohol, you shouldn't be putting all kinds of crazy ass tattoos on your body, you know, where you look like a meth head, you know, you shouldn't be overweight, you shouldn't be swearing. The Kemetic philosophy or spiritual tradition does not allow for those vices, as we call them. So let me not forget my point here. You cannot access high power and think that there are no repercussions to that. If you have not trained yourself to deal with the demons within you, and you go to a ley line, well, you're going to get a lot of what we may call as bad luck. You're going to experience a lot of stuff hitting you, and you're not going to know what to do or how to control it. And you're just going to be like, let's move. But when you are actively working on the tree of life meditation system, the Kemetic tree of life meditation system, which takes you up and down the tree, and it has you visit the different spheres where every deity is on the sphere, and you must meditate on their truisms to transcend those negative conditionings or emotions, then you don't have a fear of relocating to a ley line where it will charge you with a lot of power, which will cause things trapped in your subconscious mind or your shadow self to manifest. You won't have that fear because you have been working those things out and you have purged yourself of those negative conditionings. And this is what we'll find even among Christians that is lacking. You see, Christians think that if you do an external thing, a behavior, then you are a good person. I could give to charity and still be corrupt. Look at Bill Gates. I could donate and save somebody's life, but still not be a good person. So do unto others as you would do unto yourself. Hey, that's great. That's nice. You know, that does work, but that's a given. You should always do that. But there are also things that are specific to you, which is your destiny. You have come here, reincarnated here for a mission. God has sent you on a mission. I am not kidding. That is not a science fiction movie. That is exactly what you're here for, a mission. That mission is God wants to experience this 4D reality. Not just experience it, but experience a particular theme. And God assigns you that theme. And God says, what is important in this lifetime is that you explore this theme and then upload that information to the oversoul. And that information will be stored in the Akashic records for me to access. God will then know itself even more by these multitudes of experiences, these infinite number of experiences. Now, when I moved to a ley line, it was even more powerful than I thought. Again, not respecting the power. And what began to happen was every little thought was manifesting here, there, there, there. I'm like, wow, whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, it was hitting me so fast. I was like, this is wrong. This is horrible, you know? But then when I really battened down the hatches and started to study more, get into my meditations and my truisms and the mantras and the rituals, I gained control of it. And I began to realize what was going on. But I could have easily just bailed and said, too much to deal with, too much to deal with. And it was. But I stuck it out. So you have to understand and respect the power that you have. You're a very powerful individual. You are a God. You are a Neteru. And you don't realize it because the Illuminati has created a world and society which teaches you that you're human and that you need an intermediary, such as God or, Jesus, Yahweh, Buddha, whatever you want to call it, to save you. And you don't need that. That's a trap. That is a trap. You see, the minute someone tells you you need an intermediary, a Jesus, a Muhammad, or somebody to save you or to bring you to light, you have relinquished your power to something else outside of yourself. You are the power. You are the power, not this tool, not this person. And the mere fact that people go to church and the ministers sit there and lie to the congregation is one of the worst offenses on the planet. Because you're dealing with a matrix, a reality that mirrors your belief system. If you tell the matrix, my power can only be activated if I believe in Jesus, the matrix makes it happen. Poof. It's like a genie. It grants you your wish. So it nullifies your power. And then when you think about Jesus, you'll notice you may get a little bit more money in your paycheck. You may come across some good luck. And you'll think, wow, that's because I thought about Jesus or I praised Jesus. Let me do it again and see what happened. And you praise Jesus again. And then suddenly you get a bigger tax return. Suddenly you're able to afford a better car. Suddenly you can date someone like me who's very pretty. But you know what I'm saying. I digress. That is because you set yourself up in that trap. It is not the belief and the praising of Jesus that's giving you these things. It's because you told the matrix that when you praise Jesus to bring me rewards, it could have just as easily done the reverse. If you had told the matrix that I am the power, I am divine, I am God, and when I make a command, you must grant it, then the matrix will say, so shall it be. But because we were lied to and we're in a stupor state, we believe the nonsense that the ruling elite has imparted to us. And we've got to purge ourselves of that nonsense. And those criminals who call themselves ministers and preachers need to be dealt with strict like. They are liars and deceivers. Let me get off this subject because it just makes me passionate when I speak about it. Now, because I'm a Pisces and very emotional, we know that the language of the matrix or the universe is emotion. It doesn't understand commands. You can't say, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, grant me wealth, manifest $500. I want to manifest, I want to manifest that girl, that beautiful woman. I want to manifest a beautiful mate. The matrix, the universe does not understand that language. I wish it did. It would make the world so easy. You'd be going around with your magic wand going, I go up to this girl who's a little bit overweight, got little pupils, or what do you got, pupils, or pimples, and I go, abracadabra, poosh, Holly Berry. But that's not how it works. You see, you don't attract what you want necessarily. You attract what you are, what energy vibration you encompass. You understand? For you to attract the things that you want from the matrix or to get those things, you have to become the vibrational frequency that aligns with that. Let me give you an example. And this just happened. Perfect example. I was in the hospital. I was sick. It was a bad situation. So because I am a reality generating machine, what happens? We come home and what was the first thing? The dishwasher breaks. The dryer breaks. The air conditioner breaks. really expensive central air breaks, really expensive to fix. So we fixed those things. I'm still not feeling good. Then the sink, the pipes bust and water leaks. And it was no surprise because I knew. I said, well, you know what? I am aligned to my reality, to this world I have created. This world is a construct. I've created this world. So I'm aligned to it. So if my person is not feeling well, my person is broken down, we're going to find these instances of broken down things. I'm in an Uber because I had to drop my car off. The car is not running now. So as I'm in the Uber, I'm thinking to myself, oh man, this is, this illness, which I brought onto myself, has caused all these things in my reality, my world, to break down. And I said, I hope nothing more. And I get home, I open the ice box, and lo and behold, it's broke. So, I mean, obviously, this may not happen to you, but because I'm a Pisces and emotional, and that emotionality is the language that commands the matrix or the universe, I then manifest these things which break down. But I don't violate the law of Tahuti, or the law of Thoth. And this is what I say. Nothing has a quality in and of itself. Nothing has a quality in and of itself. This breaking down is neither good nor bad. It is just what it is. I'm not going to say, oh, it's bad luck. Oh my God, everything's breaking down. Oh my God. Rather than that, I get myself in alignment. I go back and I start taking my supplements. I'm on a water fast. And I'm doing these things because I know that when I come back to optimum health 100%, then these things will not break down anymore. They will be in perfect harmonic frequency with me. Because the reality is, there is no reality. There is no reality. There is no objective world. There is no outside. You have concocted this reality. Case in point, the company I'm a consultant with, I don't work with them anymore, but they know I'm very, very good at presentations. They don't know I'm a hypnotist. I'm a master hypnotist. They don't know that. So, but they know I'm very good at presentations. So they asked me to do a presentation for this one account, and they want to really acquire this client. They want to get the client. So I say, tell me everything about the client. Okay. And he's a rich millionaire, almost a billionaire, not quite there. And he has little quirks and hangs up. It's about like he hates cars for some reason. I don't know what that's about, but very strict on kids, yada, 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 right? So I go on and read his book. He published a book. I read his book. I watch his videos on how he got started, how he made his first $1 million. And night and day, reading his books. My mate comes in and says, Kasank, let's make love. You're very good at that. I said, no, I gotta read this book. Sorry, I gotta read this book. She says, Kasank, I hate you. So I'm reading the book. I'm falling asleep with the book. I'm falling asleep watching the videos. I'm calling him up and I'm talking to him. Tell me about your childhood. What were you like? Tell me everything, And the purpose, and this is a secret here, and be very, very attentive to what I'm about to say. My goal was not to become astute or knowledgeable about him and his background. Let me stop here for 1 second. Please hit the like button on the videos. And let me just greet the Magi's. Michelle Hatepu, Mind Over Matter, Namaste. All right, see who else is in here. Okay, Spiritual Elevation, Hatep. Okay, so what we have is we have these individuals. I forgot their proper name. They call account directors, or just say they're account directors. And their job is to study up on the client, to study up on the client's company, and to be able to know everything so that you can position yourself as the client's thought leader and speak with great knowledge about the client's company. That was not my goal. However, from the outside, you see me watching the videos, reading the books, avoiding making love to my wives, or, calling everybody he knows to get information on him. And that's what I did. I got talking to his inner circle I got a lot of insight onto him, to the point of where it may have seemed like I was obsessive. But you see, what I was doing was a very clever, magical trick. I wasn't interested in acquiring knowledge about the company and him. I was interested in aligning my vibrational frequency to his. You see, when it got to the point of everything that I was absorbing was going directly into my subconscious mind, not the conscious mind. That's what the account directors would do. They would just consciously be aware of, knowledgeable of the account and the client. But when it started to seep into my subconscious mind, going from the left brain to the right brain, it started to change my frequency, my core frequency. I started to vibrate at a different resonance. And then that alone shifted my reality from one where I didn't have the account to one where I had to do very little to get the account. Do you understand? I didn't have to go in there. I didn't have to blow him away with a great presentation. He just called in and said, "We've been doing some research on you guys, and we just think we want you to handle our account." I said, "Oh, all right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you." See, that's what I did. It's called world building. I create my reality because I know the reality does not really exist. It's my reality. Whatever are my deepest thoughts will be manifested. It's my world. No one else is experiencing this but you. It is your subjective experience. And you must know this to the core of your being, so that when you're trying to produce miracles in your life, you must work on getting that thing that you want to seep into your subconscious mind, and that you want it with your heart and your soul to where your frequency matches, and then it becomes yours. Do you understand? And that is the key. That is the secret to creating your world, to building your world. One of the greatest entertainers ever was Michael Jackson. I mean, I was really, really appreciative of how magical this guy was. He was awesome. To be at that level is not difficult for other artists. It is just a matter of inundating, or what's the proper word for it? Overwhelming your spirit, which the spirit is the subconscious mind, overwhelming your spirit with the very thing that you desire, whether it be a good singer, dancer, a good account director, a good administrative assistant, a good actor. You must overwhelm your spirit with the very thing that you want, to where it becomes almost like an obsession, and it seeps into your subconscious mind, to where you think about it on autopilot. And then you sit back and then you watch the things start to manifest in your life. You'll see things manifest. Opportunities will come up. People will give you things. Let me explain how it works in another example, because I think examples are the best. There was a very expensive digital camera that I had purchased. And before I moved, I said, well, I'm never going to use this camera. And I didn't use it. I had bought it and I used it a couple of times. And these cameras, they always go obsolete. You buy the latest digital equipment or computer, and the next 30 days later, there's a better model that comes out. But I had an affinity to this camera, and I ended up just selling it to this man and his son. And I liked the guy and his son, and he's teaching his son filmmaking. So I sold the digital camera. And I always felt like, oh, wow, I shouldn't have sold that, because I'm going to need that camera one day. So on the same account I was telling you about with the millionaire guy, and I'm working on a commercial for him, right? And this was on a Friday, and I think that the company, there was getting rid of a lot of stuff. And they came to me and they said, Kasank, we heard that you're a filmmaker, right? I said, yes. They said, well, we're getting rid of some of this equipment. Do you want it? And I was like, oh, okay, let me check it out. So I go there and the art director hands me this big case, a camera case. So I said, oh, what's this? And I zip open the camera, and much to my surprise, it was the exact make and model of the camera I sold. Not the exact camera, but the exact make and model. And I was like, yes, I would like to have this. And they said, it's yours. I said, really? What I owe you for it? They're like, no, take it. It's yours. I'm like, really? You guys are going to part with this camera? It's very expensive. They said, no, you take it. And I'm walking back to my car, put in the car, drive home, and I come home and I put the camera in my closet and I just sit there. And I'm just like in awe as to how magic works. And I said, isn't this the perfect example of ma'at, balance, giving, seeking nothing in return? And because I had such an affinity for that camera, I think the camera originally cost $8,000 when I bought it, and it depreciated over a couple of years. And it was a big expense for me, but I did make some really great films with it. But because I had an affinity for it, and giving it up really affected me, and I had moved to this ley line where it was supercharging my magical power, I just manifested a new camera, just like that, without even thinking about it. So I'm saying this, and please understand, I don't want to brag about anything because I am no different between you. I have my good days, my bad days, my ups and downs. Sometimes I wake up, I look pretty. Sometimes I don't. All right. So please don't ever think I have more than you, because I don't. I have same hang up as you. We're all cut from the same cloth. I try to do the best I can every day. But I want you to know that this is the power that you have if you only tune into it. And I don't mean by studying, reading. Yes, you have to. You've got to work with the oracles, and you've got to learn the deities. You know, each deity, you got to. That's deity. Okay, my father. You've got to learn the deities, Haru, but you also have to work with energy, emotions, so that you know how to vibrate at a certain frequency to get the very thing you want. Do not believe these individuals who have been trained in Western psychology, who say if you repeat something over and over again, you will attract it. I'm a very wealthy person. I'm a money magnet. I attract women. That's not the language the universe understands. And that's certainly not how the Illuminati and the ruling elite have controlled you. Their measures of control on you are very sophisticated, very clandestine, and not in your face. You don't even see it, but it's there. This is why I say you have to respect them. You know what I mean? Because if you don't respect them, you'll get hurt very easily. You may even be taken off this plane of existence. So you don't combat them directly, but you understand the techniques that they use, and you work on yourself and your own magic so you can work miracles in your life. You see, the preachers, the ministers, they are appointees of the Illuminati, the appointees of the ruling elite, to keep you in check so that you'll never use your power, to keep lying to you, to make you believe that you have to believe in an outside savior in order for magic and miracles to happen. That's a lie. So be cautious in your dealings with them. But the main thing you should be focusing on is building up your power, doing your rituals, doing your meditations, doing your oracle readings, and trying to be closer to God. That is your goal, that oneness. And that is really the secret. There are other things you can do. If you can't move to a ley line, you can charge crystals. You can get lots of herbs that align to the frequency of the thing you want. You can get the oils that can do it. You can get the magical powders that do it. I recommend that. Those things work. They're highly effective. Anything that will build up your energy. But remember, it's always going to fall back onto what is trapped in your subconscious mind. Although you may say you want money, although you may say you want to marry a handsome, good-looking guy, but what's in your subconscious mind? Have you overwhelmed your subconscious mind with that need? Or have you got hang-ups that are going to manifest? Those will be the first things that will pop up, your hang-ups. We call them your conditionings. Those will be the first things that will manifest, guaranteed you. Then the other stuff will come out. Because your hang-ups are charged. You've been charging them throughout the years by indulging in them. You know the old Native American saying, a young boy went to the shaman, and the shaman says there are two wolves that exist within you. And the young boy said, well, which one is the strongest? And the Native American shaman said, the one that you feed the most. So what are you feeding within you? Western society is set up to feed the animal spirit, the sahu. We feed it and we nurture it over and over again. And this is why there's chaos in the world. This is why we see the challenges coming out in 2020. The reason that we're here with all these challenges is because we didn't pay attention to the signs. We didn't respect the power of the ruling elite. You see, you took them for granted. You thought that they didn't exist. You thought they were a non-factor. And then when they popped their ugly heads up in 2020, you got shocked. You got knocked in the face and went, damn, this is a bad year. Well, you went through all of your life ignoring those in the conspiracy theory arena who have been telling you that there's a cabal that runs the planet. And instead of listening and getting deep entrenched in your magic and your spiritual quest, you ignored them. You went out and you just did your normal thing. And now the world is showing you who's really in charge. And now people are afraid and confused now. Is this thing real or not? Is it going to get worse? Where are we going? Well, the one thing that you should know is that we are not in control. There's someone else pulling the strings, a puppet master. This should be a prime opportunity not to ignore that anymore. To get into spiritual culture. To start manifesting your world, your reality, that subjective reality. You should never be envious of someone else because they're living in their reality. You can't be a part of their reality. It's different. In fact, there's something that we call time dilation. And I'm just going to touch on this just briefly because this deserves its own video. But you and friends that you know don't live in the same space-time continuum. You may be living in what you think is the present, and they may be living in the past. And then those time continuums bridge, come together and merge when you meet them face to face or when you communicate with them over the phone. Otherwise, they're in different times. They could be in the future and you could be in the past. It's called time dilation. But when you come together, the frequencies align so you can have one continuous space-time reality. Understand that. It's a real phenomenon. So we're dealing with magic here. That if you study it and understand it, you can perform great things in your life. It took me a long time to get to an understanding of where I'm at now. And there's still a long ways to go because I want the ability to move mountains. And I'm not going to be happy until I can do so, even if it takes me several incarnations. Because as a seer, if I become a seer, that's what I'll be able to do. That's within your. You see, before you get to a seer, there is Sekert. And Sekert is the goddess of spiritual power. She is one of the most powerful goddesses there is. And that is because she's very old, very wise, very powerful. She controls the 72 words of power, the mantra of creation. So you must understand that your goal is to become Osir, which is God on earth, right? And this is Osir or Osiris. However, before you can get to him, you must master the level of Sekert. And Sekert requires you to die to the things of the world. Meaning, before God gives you that amount of spiritual power, you must be divested from emotional commitments into materialism, into emotionalism. You must securely divorce yourself from becoming an emotional, sahu, animalistic being. You must become centered and focused on spirituality. Then God grants you access to spiritual power and to become Osir. If you are interested in this journey and taking this to the next level and to experience these miracles and wonders, then I encourage you to sign up to my program, the Reality Manifestation Program. That's where we produce magic. We teach people to manipulate the very fabric of reality. It is not complicated. There are many, many people in the world that do it on autopilot, that were born into this knowledge, and no one needed to show them how to do it. I knew it. From a very early age, I knew if I focused on something intently and emotionally, I could manifest it. But I always questioned if I was delusional. Then when I got into kinetic philosophy and spirituality, and they told me, yes, you were on the right track, then I knew it wasn't just me, that it was a law. It was a spiritual law that you are God, not in quantity, because God is everything, but you are God in quality, the essence of God. So understand that when we talk about performing and doing these things, we're talking about autopilots, a subconscious process. You don't have to do complex things to make these miracles in your life. Yeah, there's a level if you want to really master and get down to the nitty gritty. There's a perfect mantra for something, perfect herb for something, a perfect meditation, a ritual for something. Yeah, I can show you all that. But if you don't want to get that deep, I can show you very simple things to do it. Very, very simple things. In fact, so simple you'd be like, is that it? And I'm gonna let you know a little secret before I close out. Many occultists and spiritual teachers, when they present to you magical techniques, they make it more complicated than it is. Hold yellow candle in the east. Say, so mote it be. Turn counterclockwise 3 times. Stop. Tap your right foot down on the earth. Look up toward the east. And the reason they do this is because if they really gave you the simple and effective way, you wouldn't think it's legitimate. You'd be like, is that it? So they have to decorate it and make you think all the mumbo jumbo is going to make it work even more. But no, it won't. They just make it seem extraordinary, In fact, I forgot what movie it was. And there were 2 magicians. These are your stage magicians, right? One magician was getting rich and selling out in shows, and another magician was broke and couldn't pack his auditorium. And a promoter came and he told the magician who couldn't pack an auditorium and who was poor, he says, do you know what? He says, you're actually a better magician than that guy who sells out the auditorium, who is rich. You are a better magician than he is. And then the poor magician says, well, why am I poor? He says, showmanship. You lack razzle dazzle. You don't really make it extraordinary, make it magical. The audience needs the razzle dazzle. And that's what some of these magicians and occultists do. They give you all this complex stuff because if they make it simple, you won't buy it. This is why when you purchase certain things, they hike the price up to make you think it's exclusive. It's really something new and something that works. Let me explain something to you. The iPhone is not the best phone on the market. It is not the best phone on the market. There are a couple other phones that have features that blow the iPhone out of the water. But the iPhone has good razzle dazzle. It has good marketing. You know, you watch the video and you'll see the guy, the representative of Apple says, we are releasing the Apple 20,000. This has come with a dynamic mirroring screen from particles from Saturn's rings. The back is layered with tectonic plates that we have mined from the volcanoes of the earth. Impenetrable. The camera has dynamic megapixels. They are crystal diamonds that have been embedded to project the clearest 30-dimensional color that you could ever find. And they're just describing regular features that every other phone has, but they're hyping it up. So you think you're getting something when there are phones out there who blow the iPhone's features out of the water. So razzle dazzle does make a difference. But also you see, there is one other important element. And really understand this now. This goes back to what we were talking about in terms of respect. These magicians know that if they give you all of these steps to do and make it a little bit complicated, it will further instill your belief in the ceremony, in the ritual. And the stronger your belief, the more the magic will work. Let me say it again. The stronger your belief, the more the magic will work. This is why you'll read in some occultist books, you must get the Rusin herb only found to be growing in the month of December on the 3rd day in the West. You know, and you're going to go out and get that herb and you're thinking the herb's going to do all the magic. But when you do that arduous journey to get that herb, your mind is then saying to yourself, this is going to work. This is going to work. And that's part of the magic there. Your belief in what you're doing. I want to thank you all for taking an opportunity to watch this video today. If you get an opportunity, please donate to the channel. Also, if you are interested in taking your spiritual knowledge to the next level and beyond, sign up for my reality manifestation program, where we teach you how to manifest or to manipulate the very fabric of reality. So thank you, my Magi's. This is Kasankma Keperu, son of Ma Ntuti. My aunt is the beautiful goddess Hedaru. Until my next video, I'm in Ra.